Okay, in the previous lab, we saw the implementation of the music player example. In that example, we saw how we could use the different buttons on the user interface to control the playing of the music. Let me again bring the music player app onto the screen of the emulator to the right, and then we'll watch how the music playing can be controlled by using the buttons on the screen. So we saw that we laid out 4 different buttons: play, pause, rewind, and forward. And then the music playing is controlled by using the play, pause, and then and rewind buttons and so on. Now, what I didn't illustrate last time was that this music player application doesn't work perfectly as we expect. Now, when we create a media player, now in Android, playing of audio or video files is supported by using the media player class. We will deal with the details of the media player class in one of the later lab exercises. For the moment, in the source code, what I have done is I have packaged up the media player class into a music player Java class here, and I have basically hidden the details from you by just declaring the methods of the class that can be used to access the playing of the song. And within the activity, music activity, we were uh, simply leveraging on all these methods provided by the music player class to control the playing of the music. Now, within the music player class, when you start playing the song, a media player is created, and the media player is running on a background thread. Now, within the application, of course, the activity is only one component of the application. Now, when you begin playing the song, of course, the activity is there. And then when you click on the home button, as we expect in Android, the activity disappears and then you're back on the home screen, but the application, music playing application, is still running in the background. So um, uh, what this means is that the background thread on which the music is being processed is still running. Now, to get back to the activity, of course, we need the activity in order to control the music player. So, if you want to get back to the activity, you can click um, on the applications button here, and then bring back the activity in there. You can pause, and so it seems that all the buttons are still working fine, right? But when you actually think about it, what happens is that if the music is playing and then you hit the back button in Android, the activity gets destroyed, but the application is still running. And so that's why you can still hear the music playing in the background. Now, if we try to go back and start the application again, we can still use the same method to get back to the application and hit the pause button. Notice that you no longer can control the playing of the music. If we now hit the play button, what ends up happening is that another instance of the music player class gets created, and then it starts playing the song in another background thread in there. Okay. Now the pause button only works on the second instance that is running in the background. Okay. Now, what happens is that the only way you can stop the music player is to go and click on the applications and then literally kill the application. Now, this doesn't seem right. Now, what I have done here in the MusicPlayer code is that I have added in the within the MusicPlayer activity, I have added in the code for printing out the different methods of the activity lifecycle as they are being called. Now, if you recall, for the hello friend example, we also traced the lifecycle method calls for the two different activities. So using the same approach, I have printed out all the lifecycle methods being called for the music activity. Now, when you browse through that, we remember that we started by running the application first. So when we run the application, the music activity gets created. So it goes through its on-create, on-start, and on-resume lifecycle methods, and the application starts running in the background. Then when we hit the home button, then the activity gets paused and then it gets stopped. Now, by using the applications button here, we go back to that activity. So when we go back to that activity, we are returning to the activity by using the on restart, on start, and on resume. And so that's why we are able to come back to that activity and the buttons are still active and we are able to pause and play the music as before. But now, when you hit the back button of your device, what happens is that the music activity gets destroyed. So basically, at this point, when you hit the back button, the on stop and the on destroy methods are called. So the activity is destroyed now. When you go back and recreate that, when you go back and restart the activity again, the activity again gets recreated. But then when the activity gets recreated, recall that we are creating a new instance of the music class in the onCreate method. Okay, so this new activity that gets created is controlling the new instance of the MusicPlayer class. And so all the buttons are acting only on the new instance of the MusicPlayer class, but the old instance is still hanging around and running in its own background thread. So that's why we have two instances of the MusicPlayer class running in, trying to simultaneously run in their corresponding background threads, and then the songs being played. So this is not an appropriate way of handling the transitions of the activity. Now, when we think back about it, what we should have done is that when the activity gets destroyed, we should have exited from and released the MusicPlayer, so that when we recreate the activity, anytime you come back to the onCreate, you're recreating an instance of MusicPlayer. So at that point, you would still be in a good shape to come back and continue with running the running the new song. So going back to the music activity code, what we will do now is that in the onDestroy method, as you see here, in the onDestroy method, we will add a call to the player and then ask it to reset itself, which means that when the player gets reset, the background thread on which the media player is running gets stopped, and then the media player is released. So the song will stop playing at that point. So I will say player and player reset at this point. So I will add in the comment. Reset the music player and release the media player. So the next time when the activity gets recreated, you will have a new instance of the MusicPlayer, and that is the one that is going to be to be active at that point. Okay. Now, obviously, when you reset the music player, you'll also be automatically assuming that you'll be destroying the existing music player class in there. Okay. So with that little change, let's go back and see how the music player now performs. So the new version of the music player should behave more correctly in the sense that when the music activity gets destroyed, the music player no longer is active. So let's do the play, and then you can faintly hear the music being played in the background. When you hit the home button, it goes to the back. I bring back the activity, and I can still pause the music player. When I hit the play button, it is still playing in the background, and then when I hit the back button, the music activity gets destroyed, and also the media player gets released and the music player gets released. Now, looking back at the trace in the code, I see that when the onDestroy method of the music player was called, onDestroy method of the music activity was called, the activity was destroyed at that point. Okay, so this way we are able to make use of the lifecycle methods of the music activity in order to control the playing of the music in the background. Okay. So again, coming back, you can continue and resume playing the music. But anytime you exit the activity, the music player is released, and the music player gets destroyed. So this concludes this section of the lab. In the next lab, we will look at enhancing the user interface of the music player to use nice buttons that and make it look a bit more like a real music player application that you will see on a standard Android mobile device.